Many of us have experienced anxiety during bedtime, have had trouble falling asleep, or woken up in the middle of the night only to find it harder to go back to sleep. The pandemic is only making it more difficult as we deal with increased anxiety, increased stress, and even fear. In this episode of our sleep series, we will talk about sleep deprivation, what are some of the underlying causes, self help strategies to get better sleep, and when is the right time to seek professional help. And to answer all of these questions, we have with us Dr. Poojashivam Jaitly. She's a clinical psychologist and she will be answering all our questions today. Hi, Dr. Pooja. Thank you for being with us today.
Arnika, always a pleasure to interact with you.
Let me begin with my questions. I think we all, at some point in our lives, have had trouble sleeping, or we know of someone who finds it hard to fall asleep, and it has only intensified since the pandemic started. People have been complaining about all sorts of sleep related issues. Dr. Pooja, will you talk to us about why is this happening?
So now that we've experienced the pandemic situation and how it has really changed, how the demands have been so diverse, and we don't really have at times strategies to deal with it. Demands in all forms, what was expected of us and what did we have to deal with it. I think a lot of us have gone through certain emotional and mental states which have contributed to our disturbances in sleep. Um, Particularly during the pandemic, I think what has really been very difficult for people, and that's what they have shared, is the uncertainty and the thoughts related to that. Obviously, with respect to whether they'll get infected or not, they are preoccupied because the situation around them is challenging, changing, and unpredictable. Again, a breeding ground for anxiety. And anxiety often causes sleep problems. In fact, research has suggested that sleep deprivation can lead to anxiety disorders also.
Right.
This is a new research which is also talking about it. And studies have also shown that people with chronic insomnia are at high risk of developing a sleep disturbance. So we have seen a rise in sleep disturbance cases because either people already had a sleep disturbance, or because of the current situation and their thoughts being preoccupied with whole lot of anxiety related thoughts and anxiousness, are finding it difficult to go back to sleep. The body is tired, but the
Right.
brain is alert.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Do you also think that it is particularly hard on women? They have borne a disproportionate burden of household and caregiving responsibilities during the pandemic. Do you think this increased stress, the increased workload, all of it, do you think it makes harder for women to fall asleep or even like get good quality sleep?
I think what is very important to understand here is that women in particular are actually trying to do too many things. The demands on them have been the most because they're working from home, and when they're home, they have their own internal need to provide for everyone. They take the provider role very seriously. So obviously they are there. They are doing so much which they can't handle. They're just doing too many things which they can't handle. Apart from that, I think the erratic schedule, which most of us with initial phase of the lockdown saw us not really maintaining a schedule, is taking a toll on the primary provider of the family. And that in most cases happens to be a woman, right? So obviously it's because mentally and physically the demands on a woman have been more. And so women are experiencing this, that even though they're physically tired, their brain is not at rest because it is stimulated with the concerns regarding the health of the family, regarding the work that she needs to do, regarding the day ahead and the challenges she's going to face. So all of that is definitely contributing. And in many instances of my interaction with women across sections and working as in professionally working or maybe homemakers, they
Right.
have reported that there has been an increase in their anxiety experience. also they're finding it extremely challenging to relax their body and mind. And so that is again a breeding ground for disturbed sleep or sleep disorders.
Right. People have also been complaining of unusual dreams, of lucid dreams. In fact, I was reading about this ongoing study in France where participants have reported an increase in dream recall or negative dreams. Would you say that that is stress induced? And how does that, the quality of your dreams, how does that impact the quality of your sleep?
Uh, so one has to understand that dreams actually represent, whatever we go through and whatever is preoccupying us that gets manifested, because dreams happen when you have deep sleep, right?
Right.
And this is not the first time that such variations in dream patterns have emerged. We've often seen that crisis inevitably paves the way for an unrest which disturbs sleep cycles. And disturbed sleep cycles, lack of routine, excess time at hand. This has been very commonly reported by people in the lockdown. Again, having a sleep disorder like insomnia or narcolepsy, it increases the possibility of having vivid dreams.
Right.
Worry is very, very significantly reported. Worry about a lot of things. And again, worry causes sleeplessness, leading to troublesome dreams. Dreams are nothing but manifestation of all those things that we probably that are disturbing in nature. And when we are in deep sleep, our hold on these thoughts or things which probably in our consciousness we are able to control so that they don't interfere with our everyday functioning,
Right.
gets manifested when we are in deep sleep. So again, I would say that people are, and they're reading a lot of stuff which is very suggestive. So the content around them is not very positive in terms of both the information which is coming and how they're processing it. So all of this contributes to those dreams being very vivid and disturbing in nature. And again, lack of structure, lack of routine shifts the entire sleep cycle and the pattern into a toss, and then you do experience the kind of dreams that people have been reporting in pandemic.
Right. What does it say about the quality of our sleep? Having more dreams or lucid dreams or unusual dreams or scary dreams. What does it say about our sleep?
See, if you have something which is disturbing in nature, and if you've been preoccupied with anxious thoughts, it's definitely going to impact your quality of sleep. You're not going to feel fresh, and you're going to be, sometimes people have even reported waking up with those thoughts probably something very disturbing that they have seen in their dream. For example, a woman client of mine, she reported that uh, she she has woken up in her sleep and found that she is surrounded by those visuals, whatever she has seen in the news of the coronavirus and things like that, and she's not protected at all, and she's wanting and looking for help. Again, it's a manifestation of all those things that she has probably absorbed during the day, which are negative in nature. So
Right.
the quality of sleep is definitely going to be impacted if you have disturbed sleep, disturbing dreams. The content of the dreams is going to be disturbing and anxious, anxiety provoking. It definitely impacts the quality of sleep.
Right. There are also people, who have been sleeping more than usual. They need more than usual sleep. Will you tell me why does that happen? And is it something that we should be concerned about?
Uh, so again, going by the definition, any time that your sleep gets disturbed, which doesn't always mean that you're sleeping less. Anything which is different from your usual or normal way of doing things is a sign that something is disturbing you, or something is amiss, or
Right.
something is not normal, right?
Right.
Again, if you are physically less active, the emotional and mental stress of the coronavirus can cause the body to tire. You can feel, so sometimes people sleep more to escape reality. they don't want to face it, and so sleep becomes their escape route, and they're sleeping more because when they're awake, it's more painful. A lot of times we've seen people do that. However, like I'm saying, these are all ways in which people react, and these are all possibilities. We can't really say that in every case this would happen. So in
Right.
some cases this has been reported. Also, deep sleep allows brain to process the overload of information and emotions, and that overarching stressor may be easier for the brain to compartmentalize than million small worries that they worry during the day. So they want, the brain or the body wants to sleep for longer hours. However, my message to the viewers would be that if you think that from your usual pattern of sleeping there is a deviation on the either side, either you're sleeping less or you're sleeping more, and that pattern is continuing, and you're finding it difficult to break that pattern, and it is causing disturbance in your everyday functioning, it is an alarming signal. And a lot of people, in a lot of people with significant mental and emotional, disturbing states, or a mental health condition, we've seen that excess sleep often is an indicator.
Right.
Again, not in all cases, but it can be an indicator. So I think if you should be worried if you think that there is a pattern emerging where from your usual pattern you're deviating on either side.
Right. That's quite interesting, actually. Also, if you say that you're sleeping more than normal, how much time would you say is more than normal? I understand that we're always told that we should be sleeping for about 7 or 8 hours, but what would you consider not normal or irregular?
So I would say that if on a regular basis you know that you have certain demands, but you find it difficult to even fulfill that, and you would rather sleep than tend to them,
Right.
that's definitely a sure sign that you need, there is something not okay. Even if you're aware that there are certain demands, but you're trying to, or if you're falling asleep more than usual and at odd hours, which is interfering with your everyday functioning, there has to be some disturbance there. It may not be really a mental health issue, but we need to evaluate why it is happening. So
Right.
if you are if you are seeking sleep, and if you're sleeping longer hours, obviously we all are able to structure our life. Now that we are working from home, we are able to structure our day in the way we want it. And we
Right.
have more time because we're not traveling, we're not doing all of that. But however, even during this, if you think that there is a certain demand that you need to you need to attend to, but you're not doing that, and in fact you're finding an escape into sleep, then I think that's a reason to worry.
Right. Right. I also wanted to understand what counts as sleep deprivation. Would you say that we are sleep deprived because we have a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep? What are the signs that tell us that this is sleep deprivation, and this is when we should get professional help?
So sleep disorders need to be evaluated by a professional. You can't really arrive at it, but yes, sleep disturbances and deprivation is again a kind of, what I first need to explain what is the difference between insomnia and sleep deprivation. So
Right.
when I say when one refers to insomnia, it's one's inability to get adequate and or quality of sleep. I mean, you're not able to get the quality of sleep that you require or adequate sleep despite plenty of opportunity to sleep.
Right.
Sleep deprivation is something when there is a shortening or complete loss of sleep due to externally imposed restrictions. So people who have probably longer hours of working, or even they're not given the opportunity to sleep, probably because they have certain demands. So like young mothers often are sleep deprived. People working who were working in certain sectors, who probably had demands which would come at odd hours, they would have probably sleep deprivation. So if you have insomnia, you're experiencing a sleep disorder. But
Right.
if you're sleep deprived, you can change your habit and your sleep pattern and improve the amount and quality of sleep that you get every night. So what is important is that we have to understand that sleep deprivation is something which can become habitual, which you can work upon, and you need to concentrate more on the sleep patterns. Now,
Right.
coming to signs that you might need, professional help for it. If you experience abnormal sleep patterns that interfere with your physical, mental, and emotional functioning, then I think that is a sign enough for you to seek help. Stress and anxiety may cause sleep problems or make existing problems worse. And I think it would be wise to really, even if and people have this myth that once you engage in therapy, it's going to be forever. No, it's not
Right.
that. Sometimes we only, seek a professional help for a particular problem, and that's just a couple of sessions. So I think it is very important.
Right.
So understand sleep deprivation and sleep disorder are two different things and should not be confused.
Right. Right. Well, thank you for talking to us about different sleep patterns, what sleep deprivation is, and when we need to see a professional. It was a very insightful conversation. I personally learned a lot, and I hope that our viewers feel the same way. I At this point, I also want to tell our viewers that we will be speaking to Dr. Pooja again in our next video about the consequences of sleep deprivation, the impact of technology on our sleep patterns, and how can we get better sleep. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Arnika.